This is QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. I am Umudu Gajaga, and thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. The first day of the two-day National Conference on Women's Political Participation and Representation at the Sir Dawda Conference Centre provided a timely platform to assess progress and identify gaps since the 2016 democratic transition. On the second day of the National Conference on Women's Participation and mentioned above, a high-level political parties panel was convened to explore concrete action for advancing women's inclusion in politics. Mayor Rohilo on Saturday presided over the inauguration of an 8,000-litre capacity borehole constructed by the Rafela Gambia chapter in Dibakunda, Sabah Sanjal District, North Bank region. The National Agency for Legal Aid, NALA, in the Gambia recently achieved a significant institutional milestone by hosting a two-day convergence to validate its upcoming corporate strategic and communication strategic plans. In international news, as the chairperson of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS, Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio used the closing of their meeting in Abuja to reaffirm the vital importance of fortifying the regional bloc to ensure its security and prosperity. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. The first day of the two-day National Conference on Women's Political Participation and Representation at the Sir Dawda Conference Centre provided a timely platform to assess the progress and identify gaps since the 2016 democratic transition. Loli M. Kamara was there, and this is our report.
This high-level gathering aims to develop a unified strategy, including policy recommendations and capacity-building initiatives. It also seeks to inspire a new generation of women leaders to engage in politics. Dr. Kevin Casas Zamora, Secretary General of International IDEA, delivered a message of virtual solidarity, emphasizing the low participation of Gambian women in politics.
Women, who make up more than half of the population, still hold only 8.6% of elected seats in the National Assembly. This places the Gambia far below the 30% level recommended by the Beijing Platform for Action. A similar pattern can be seen in local government. And since we know from comparative examples across Africa and around the world that inclusive decision-making produces better policies, this gap matters profoundly, not just to women, but to all Gambians.
Speaking on behalf of the EU representative to the Gambia, Enyom Brown, highlighted the importance of the theme, Breaking Barriers, Building Power. She stated that women continue to hold families together, build peace, serve communities, and drive progress from our homes, markets, and schools. However, in formal spaces where decisions are made, namely politics, these same women are often absent.
So the question is not, can they lead? We already know the answer to that. The real question is, why are they still being held back in politics? That must change. Not because the European Union or any other partner would say so. No, because since 2016, the Gambia has very clearly and consistently chosen democracy.
Tobaskin Jaisar, the executive director of CSO Gender Platform, said that this program is not just about activities, it is about changing narratives, strengthening voices, and building systems that enable women to lead without fear or limitations. Aissatou Keta, president of the Gambia Press Union, reiterated the union's commitment and pointed out that this national conference provides a timely space to assess progress, confront persistent gaps, and agree on practical steps to be implemented ahead of the 2026-2027 elections. Honorable Janet Salanjai, the Commissioner and Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Women in Africa with the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, delivered the keynote address.
If the Gambia is serious about democratic consolidation, it must embrace bold and deliberate measures that reflect both its legal obligation and the aspiration of Gambian women. I think that's very important. As Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Women in Africa, I wish to reaffirm my unwavering commitment to supporting gender-responsive governance reforms.
Recent election cycles saw gradual but insufficient progress, hindered by barriers such as limited financing, socio-cultural norms, party gatekeeping, and low visibility of female candidates. Over the next few days, panel discussions will focus on the status of women's political participation and representation in the Gambia, as well as the legal and policy frameworks supporting women in politics. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
On the second day of the National Conference on Women's Participation, and mentioned above, a high-level political parties panel was convened to explore concrete action for advancing women's inclusion in politics. Loliam Kamara again.
Organizers of the conference say political parties remain the primary gatekeepers of political power as they control candidate selection, campaign financing, leadership opportunities, and internal democratic processes, factors that directly influence women's representation in decision-making. The political parties panel brought together party leaders and representatives to reflect on their commitments, examine ongoing challenges, and discuss policy and constitutional reforms needed to achieve gender balance within party structures and electoral processes. Discussions focused on practical and actionable measures, including adopting gender quotas, developing leadership pipelines for women, and removing discriminatory practices that hinder women's political participation. During the panel, political party leaders outlined provisions within their party constitutions relating to women's involvement, highlighting both progress made and remaining gaps. Opening the discussions, veteran politician and statesman, His Excellency Halifa Sallah, challenged participants to critically reflect on the concept of participation itself, asking participation in what? He emphasized that meaningful participation must extend beyond mere numbers to include influence, decision-making power, and equal opportunities within political parties.
We need women participation. We believe that participation is not about privilege, it's about service to people and country. And this is where we miss the boat, because everybody is focused on positions.
Out of 37 elected, emphasis added, executive members, 16 out of those were women, making 43% of the elected members of the National Executive are women. The nominated members of the National Executive are 11. 7 out of this are women, 63.6%.
The Barrow-led coalition, the Grand Coalition of NPP, in 2023 in the local government election, MPP and our allied parties have fielded more female candidates than any other party in this country. And that's on record. The IEC can prove that.
To have a very balanced government in which the women are as equally represented as the men, and the youth are as equally represented as the.
Here are some of the concerns raised by participants.
And we need all those things that we are talking about, legislature and the political parties come up with what they should come up. But for us, we know that we vote for men to win. Why can't we vote for ourselves? And we are more.
Women are going to sensitize each other. We are going to form solidarity, and we are going to rise in emancipation of women.
The panel concluded with a renewed call for political parties to translate commitments into action, as women's effective participation remains key to strengthening democracy and inclusive governance in the Gambia. The national conference continues with further engagements aimed at identifying strategies to enhance women's political representation across all levels of governance. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
Mayor Rohilo on Saturday presided over the inauguration of an 8,000-litre capacity borehole constructed by the Rafela Gambia chapter in Dibakunda, Sabah Sanjal district, North Bank region, marking a major boost to access clean drinking water in the community.
The mayor was accorded a warm reception by residents who escorted her into the village on motorbikes, expressing appreciation for the intervention, which is expected to benefit hundreds of households. At the inauguration ceremony, community leaders, including the village alcalde and imam, highlighted long-standing challenges posed by the lack of clean water, noting its impact on daily life, sanitation, and children's well-being. They explained that residents previously struggled to access water for drinking, cooking, and laundry, while children often went to school without bathing due to water shortages. They expressed gratitude to Mayor Lo and Rafela for the borehole, which has already been connected to 26 households, with plans to extend access to hundreds more in the coming weeks. Several residents, including Fafa Fall, Ya Olimatu Sise, Ndelo, Hadi Seka, Tamsir Gay, Adam Nyas, and Musa Ba, described the project as life-changing, recalling how women would queue for hours at the village well, often resulting in disputes.
I want to extend our gratitude to you and Rafela. Access to clean drinking water is a major challenge, especially in neighboring villages. I am a member of a women's group whose membership comprises 231 women from across neighboring villages. And knowing how challenging the lack of adequate clean drinking water has been for us, we want to sincerely thank you for coming to our aid. We used to fight at the old well because of the scarcity of water. The place was always overcrowded. Now we don't have to worry or fight anymore.
Addressing community members, Mayor Lo thanked them for their patience, cooperation, and support throughout the construction process. She urged residents to remain united, stressing that the borehole is a non-partisan project meant to serve the entire community, regardless of political affiliation.
This borehole has no party color, no tribe or religion. It belongs to everyone. It is for all of you. Water is a basic necessity that everyone needs to live a decent and healthy life. So, I encourage you to treat it as a community project belonging to every member of this community.
Following the borehole inauguration, Mayor Lo proceeded to Lowen in Lower Nyomi, where she officially kicked off a peace football tournament she sponsored with over $50,000. Speaking at the event, she underscored the importance of unity and peace, explaining that the tournament aims to empower youth, promote healthy lifestyles, and strengthen harmony among the 12 participating villages.
The Sustainable Development Goals, one of its advocacy is to make sure that we advocate for sports.
Speaking on behalf of the community, Alpha Lo commended the mayor for her continued support and highlighted the significance of the tournament in fostering peace and development.
On behalf of the community, particularly young people of this village, I will express our sincere thanks and appreciation to Mayor, and will also encourage her to continue the good work that she is doing across the country.
Mayor Lo also announced plans to construct another borehole in Lowen, adding that the foundation stone laying will happen soon. Answana Sonyase for KTV News.
From that story, we'll now go for a commercial break, and when we return, we have more national and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
Browse with us. QCell brings you a promo like never before. Get unlimited internet for just $25. Yes! Recharge $25 and enjoy the convenience of free internet from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day with our Browse with Us promo. With this amazing offer, you can browse, stream, and download all your favorite movies for free. So why wait? Recharge $25 today and enjoy free internet only with QCell between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus, we innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. The National Agency for Legal Aid, NALA, in the Gambia recently achieved a significant institutional milestone by hosting a two-day convergence to validate its upcoming corporate strategic and communication strategic plans, covering the period between 2026 to 2030. Mam Nabuka has the rest of the story.
Held on Friday and Monday respectively, the workshop served to bring together stakeholders from government institutions, civil society organizations, development partners, and the justice sector to review and finalize these two major institutional documents, which are set to guide the agency's operations for the next strategic period. The successful development and launch of these crucial plans were made possible through the support of the United Nations Development Programme, facilitated by the EU-UNDP GRADE project, and represent a major step forward for NALA as they are aimed at strengthening legal aid services, improving outreach, and expanding access to justice for the most vulnerable citizens across the Gambia. Crucially, the new strategies aligns with the Gambia's broader national development priorities and directly contribute to the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goal 16, which focuses on peace, justice, and strong institutions. Tamsir B. Jallo, legal officer at NALA, expressed that this initiative is a transformative journey for the institution.
NALA has never developed a strategic plan or a communication strategic plan. We are having that for the first time. And honestly, going through the strategic plan and also the communication strategic plan, it has outlined a clear roadmap and on how to expand institutional development, how to expand the human resources, and also how to transform NALA into the institution that we all envisage it to be.
Reflecting on NALA's role in enhancing access to justice in the Gambia over the years, Jallo emphasized that this initiative is crucial for the advancement of legal aid in the country. He also noted that the objectives outlined in both documents are highly attainable.
Looking at the 5-year document, we have annual targets in it, and also we have a midterm review, which will be 2028. And during that midterm review, it also offered us the opportunity to re-strategize, realign our priorities, and also look at our challenges, what we have achieved and what we have not achieved, and look at the things that is achievable, and also to better prepare ourselves for the execution of the second phase of this plan.
Jallo also provided insights into what will happen following the completion of the workshops.
What NALA will do is to look at everyone's comments. We will reach out to the consultant again with the support from UNDP. We will finalize both the communication and also the strategic plan. I think it's something that is really marketable, and it's something that partners will really be interested as we journey towards having a Gambia free of miscarriage of justice.
NALA was created by an Act of Parliament in 2008 and officially launched in September 2010. Its main goal is to expand beyond the previous restricted legal aid system and offer affordable, accessible, and reliable legal services to the broader Gambian population that cannot afford legal representation. It functions under the oversight of the Ministry of Justice, with responsibilities encompassing both direct service provision and administrative duties. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
The National Youth Council, NYC, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, on Monday commenced a two-day capacity building training program for youth, peace and security YPS ministerial focal points to strengthen the integration of YPS priority in the government policies and programs. Jacqueline Colley tells us more.
The training focuses on mainstreaming the pillars and activities of the Youth, Peace and Security Agenda into national development plans and ministerial initiatives, in line with the UN Council resolution, which calls on member states to increase the representation of young people in decision-making processes at all levels and to create platforms that amplify youth voices locally, nationally, regionally, and internationally. The organizers are seeking to enhance participants' understanding of the Youth, Peace and Security YPS agenda within the context of the Gambia's National Action Plan, while strengthening their capacity to integrate YPS pillars into policy formulation and program design. The sessions will also build participants' skills in developing measurable YPS indicators and effectively reporting on implementation progress of the NAP. Mandisa Moshologo, resident representative of UNDP, said with over 60% of Gambians under the age of 35, youth participation in peace and security is imperative.
Advancing youth, peace and security agenda is not only consistent within this framework, but is also essential for strengthening effective governance and building crisis resilience in the Gambia. For us, as UNDP and sister agencies, our partnership with you, and I'm calling it a partnership with you, is deeply rooted in the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework.
For a long-lasting impact of the YPS agenda, Mandisa gave an overview of how it could be incorporated into various frameworks and policies.
To ensure lasting impact, it is vital that we mainstream the YPS priorities across all national policies, sector strategies, and programs. This is at the heart of the mandate of the YPS ministerial focal points. By embedding youth empowerment, participation, and protection within broader development, governance, justice, security, and social frameworks, we institutionalize these principles. This approach strengthens sustainability, aligns with national development goals, and ensures more coordinated, youth-responsive service delivery.
42 participants are taking part in the training, comprising 32 YPS focal points drawn from various line ministries, 5 representatives from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, 3 staff members of the National Youth Council, and 4 officials from the Gambia Police Force. Abbas Ba from the Ministry of Youth and Sports spoke on behalf of the Minister of Youth and Sports and buttressed on the importance of such a strategic framework.
The effective implementation of the National Action Plan on Peace, on Youth, Peace and Security requires strong institutional ownership, coordination and technical capacity across government institutions. As focal persons, you play a critical role in mainstreaming YPS commitment in sectoral policies, programs and budget, and in strengthening interministerial collaboration for sustainable peace.
Organizers say the initiative is part of ongoing efforts to institutionalize the youth, peace and security agenda across government institutions and ensure meaningful youth participation in peace building, governance and national development processes. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Colley.
Now to international news. As chairperson of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS, Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio used the closing of their meeting in Abuja to reaffirm the vital importance of fortifying our regional bloc to ensure the security and prosperity of our nations. More in this report by our Bob.
As chair of the ECOWAS Authority, President Bio highlighted the rise in unconstitutional government changes as a major threat to regional stability at the 68th Ordinary Session. He also reaffirmed ECOWAS' commitment to democratic governance and set out his hope for the summit.
Our community's 50th anniversary is not only a celebration of our journey
It is also a tribute to the resilience of our citizens, the traders who build regional commerce, the farmers who fed nations through hardship, the women who held community together, and the young people whose courage and creativity continue to define our future. I assumed the chairmanship of the ECOWAS Authority with humility and determination, committed to advancing an ECOWAS that protects the dignity, security, and prosperity of all its citizens. This session is therefore an opportunity to take stock of where we are, confront the realities before us, and chart a future for the next 50 years, a future worthy of hope of our people.
Following the end of the meeting, he issued a rallying cry and a reminder to the governments and people of ECOWAS.
50 years ago, our founding fathers imagined a community anchored in solidarity, cooperation, and collective progress. We must uphold the ECOWAS protocol on democracy and good governance with clarity and moral conviction. Regional and economic integration is not optional. It is the bedrock of the ECOWAS vision and the foundation upon which our collective prosperity, stability, and global relevance must continue to grow.
It remains to be seen whether that rallying cry resonates with governments and citizens. For QTV News, I am Awa Bob.
That's all we have time for in tonight's news bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again tomorrow and have a pleasant night. Bye.